In the last video we looked at long division. We looked at what happens if you take g of x, a cubic, and divide it by x plus 1, which is one of its factors. And we used long division to do that, and we got this quadratic on the top, which then becomes x plus a and x plus b if you were to factorize it. So what I've got here is another long division problem that we can go through, and I'm going to say that x plus 2. So if they tell you in the exam x plus 2 is a factor of h of x, what are the other factors? So it'll say it like this. It'll say express h of x as a product of its linear factors. There's no apostrophe there. Of its linear factors. So that's what it'll say in the exam. What it means is it wants to know what are a and b in this situation. So it wants you to say h of x equals x plus 2, x plus a and x plus b, where you have a and b as real numbers. In order to do that, we need to do a long division, just like we did in the last video. So I'm going to write down here, I'm going to have x plus, not plus, here we go, x cubed, get this right, x cubed plus 6x squared plus 11x plus 6. And we are going to divide that, by, in blue again, by x plus 2. So how do we do that? How do we go about starting off that process? We looked at the leftmost term, so x there and x cubed there. How many x's, or what do we have to times x by to get to x cubed? We have to times it by x squared. So x squared times by x is going to be x cubed. So let's write that in there, x cubed. And then what do we get if we times x squared by plus 2? We're going to get plus 2x squared. Then let's draw a line under it all the way, and then do a subtraction. So x cubed minus x cubed is going to be 0, I don't have to write it in there, and then 6x squared, take away 2x squared, is going to be 4x squared. And the more of these you do, the more you'll get into the habit of doing it without even thinking about it. And then you have these two terms, which, like I said in the last video, just drop straight down. It's like you're taking away nothing from them. That is literally what you're doing. So plus 6 at the end of there. And then we start the process again. Let's start it again. So we have our 4x squared here, the leftmost thing, the greatest amount of x's, if you like, the highest power of x. So what do we need to times x by to get to 4x squared? We have to times it by plus 4x. So plus 4x times by x is 4x squared, and then plus 4x times by 2 is going to be plus 8x. Then we draw a line just like before, and we do this times by this, take away this is going to be 0, I don't have to write that in there, and then we have 11x take away 8x, which is going to be 3x, and the 6 drops down to there. So the last stage, let's do it in pink. So 3x, what do we have to times x by to get to 3x? That's going to be plus 3 in there, so we're going to have 3x, and then plus 3 times by plus 2 is going to be plus 6, and we get 0. You should always get 0 here. This is the remainder. So maybe if they ask you for one of these things and they say also state the remainder, they very rarely do that, but this would be your remainder here if it didn't equal out as 0. Well, it does equal out as 0, and it is a remainder of 0. So we have our h of x. Let's write that in. So h of x is equal, this is what you would write down in the exam. So h of x equals x squared plus 4x plus 3 times by x plus 2. That will get you all but one of the marks. They want you to break out this quadratic into smaller terms. So how do we factorize that? We're going to have to say that is equal to x plus 3 and x plus 1 and x plus 2 in there. So this is our final solution there. And let's think about what that means for a minute. In earlier videos we had this x plus 3 and x plus 1 as points on a graph. Let me go down a little bit so I can draw this out. As points on a graph where we had minus 3, minus 1, and this would be minus 2, where it cuts the x-axis, where y is 0. So if I draw out, let me try and draw this out. So what we're going to have in this case is we have a cubic. So I hope you're familiar with what a cubic looks like, and you will be in a minute anyhow if you aren't. So we have 3 points of intersection with the x-axis. We have minus 1 here, we have minus 2 here, and we have minus 3 here. So what our cubic is going to look like, it's going to do something like, and actually we have a plus 6 on the end here, so we should say that maybe up here is going to be a 6. This is going to be difficult for me to draw, but I will do my best. So we're going to have a graph that comes up like this. It's going to cut at minus 3, then it's going to go back down and cut again at minus 2, then it's going to go up again and cut at minus 1 and carry on to 6 and carry on like that. I know that's not quite straight, but this is the general shape of what you can expect this to look like. And in the next video I'm going to explain what it looks like if we only have one point of intersection. So let me do that in purple, I think. So if we come up like this, and then maybe we go down, and maybe we don't touch the x-axis, and continue on like this. So I'm going to explain in the next video what that might look like. See you in the next one.